So I want to point something out here. There's a lot of, well, there's more than a lot of people, a lot of Christians, when we try to tell them Christmas and Easter is pagan idolatry and show them Jeremiah, and it's not about Christmas and Easter. And it's like, okay, so let me point something out here. In Acts 15, when the council came together, the apostles and everybody, and they were trying to come up with like a game plan for the Gentiles to follow, right? Because they didn't want to put them back under sacrificial law. That was a burden. There were people who were trying to, they didn't know how to handle the Gentiles, what to teach them. So they came together and they came up with a list of like 3 or 4 things. So first on the list, this is Acts 15, verse 20 and 21. The first thing on the list is that they abstain from pollutions of idols. Okay? That's what it's called in that verse. Now, you may look at that and read over and think these people were bowing down to like some little statue of Osiris or something, right? No. This is Christmas and Easter. And you can see how this plays out later down in the chapter. I'm not sure who's talking here. Maybe it was James. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So when you go down to verse 29, all of a sudden, it's changed how it's worded. That ye abstain from meats offered to idols. Well, what do you think you do at Christmas and Easter? Is there a Christmas ham that is traditionally, prepared at a Christmas dinner or an Easter lunch? Like, can you not see the connections here? Again, the reason you can't see this is because you're looking at this through the letter of the law. Because you're looking at the words as meaning literally exactly what they mean, not realizing the meaning behind the words. Idiomatic. They're using something that they used to do to make a comparison to what it is. Seriously, think about this for a second. Do you think it's actually going to say Christmas and Easter when the scriptures were written 2,000 plus years ago in the New Testament? Like, for real. I haven't looked up when the actual names of Christmas and Easter came about, but I guarantee you it was well after the New Testament was written and put together. So they had different names for this stuff throughout the generations and the civilizations. Just look at all the different pagan gods' names. And then when you look at the characteristics, you realize it's all the same person. They've just made little changes here and there and then changed the name and the image. It's the same thing throughout all of history. Same thing. You think you're in a special generation where we just have all this completely new stuff? Like, did you forget Satan still runs this world and has since the Garden of Eden? It's the same thing. We're trying to tell you. The Bible is written, and look, ultimately what it comes down to is you have a heart that is bent towards, in opposition towards God. You don't have a humble and contrite heart. You don't mourn over your sin. You think you're good. Because the church has lied to you into making you think you're good. And then you go about through your happy life. And I don't know, it's like, where's the heart? Where's the heart that knows something is not right? something just feels off, even a little bit. If you've been going through church and you've had any of those feelings that something doesn't seem right. I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like it's a real big deal, but something doesn't seem right. That is the Spirit of grace more than likely pricking your heart. Trying to wake you up. Tell you like, hey dude, they're all lying to you, man. Because that's what they're doing. So, anyways, I just wanted to make a quick one. Showing this comparison here in the scriptures where they call it two different things in the same chapter, representing the same thing. Christmas, Easter. I mean, anytime they did pagan celebrations back then, they made an offering. Just like you do at the holidays. Could you imagine having a holiday and not making a meal? Well, there you go. Same exact thing they did in the scriptures. When they worshiped their gods, they offered a sacrifice. It's just a figure of speech to say they made a meal and they slaughtered an animal so that they could eat. And they did it in remembrance. That's why you're like the whole bowing down to Baal. Nobody bows down to a Christmas tree. Yeah, but don't you, like I explained this to this guy yesterday. Worship is obedience, obeying. When you worship God, you worship Him by obeying Him, right? When you decide to obey the traditions, rules, and customs of these pagan, heathenistic holidays, you're worshiping the one that it was created for, Satan. Worship. Obey. Which one have you decided to obey? And because of that, you become deaf, dumb, and blind, stupid, retarded, absolute drunktards. It's not my words, it's what the scripture says you will become. I wish I had a deadgum freaking megaphone attached to a helicopter and I could just fly around and just blast this to everybody, because it's like, I'm at the mercy of TikTok's algorithms. Because there's a lot of people out there that would realize this if they had it in their ears. We can't get to. Fortunately, God will save them for His name's sake. The remnant, the ones who actually have a heart that would obey God if they knew the truth. So, I mean, if you see this, if you've watched to this far, share this video. Because you've got to understand, when you share these videos from the servants, you are helping their cause. And that will be that's good. You would want to do that because you're promoting God's purposes. Now, you still need to be keeping the covenants of promise and the royal law and all that stuff, telling other people yourself. But when you share, you're not working against, you're working for. Because what did the Father say? You're either for me or you're against me. So, share this video, get it out there, try to get people to wake up from this pagan idolatry that blinds them before it's too late.